From the historic Lyric Baltimore Performance Arts Center, WBAL-TV presents the 5th Annual Dream Big Awards Ceremony, brought to you by the Lyric Foundation. Here's your host, Jason Newton.
I'm Jason Newton from WBAL-TV, and welcome to the 5th Annual Dream Big Award Celebration, sponsored by the Lyric Baltimore. As you know, the Lyric's annual Dream Big contest, it asks students who live in both Baltimore City and Baltimore County to share their big dreams for a better world. There are 3 rounds of judging, including staff and board members of the Lyric had the very difficult task of selecting this year's 6 visionaries and 6 dreamers as well. And the 6 visionaries will be sharing their work tonight. Our dreamers are our runners-up, but just as important this evening. We're doing things a little bit differently this year, and our 12 finalists don't know who the visionaries and the dreamers are. And let's be clear, though, they all submitted outstanding work this year. So I'll ask at this point if all of our finalists will please stand, and we can give you all each a round of applause. Thank you all. Our first visionary tonight, I'd like to bring to the stage Joshua Sharp. Joshua is a 12th grader from the community school and sharing his essay, Dreams and Aspirations.
My name is Joshua Sharp, and I would like to thank my mom, my dad, my family, and my friends for being so supportive. I love y'all. I would also like to thank TCS. I wouldn't be here without them. Thank you.
How is everybody doing today? Dreams and aspirations. I've had a lot of dreams in my life. There have been plenty of aspirations I wanted to accomplish. The thing is that we always keep those dreams as dreams. We keep them as dreams because we think that it isn't possible to do what we aspire or what we think is realistic. The truth is that it shouldn't matter if it is realistic or not. If you want it, go get it. Now, I'm not saying that we will get the exact results that we expect, but nothing is stopping us from trying. When Dr. King said he had a dream, that dream he had wasn't looking realistic in the times they were in. People in his community did not see blacks and whites being able to sit in the same room. It wasn't looking realistic for blacks to get the right to vote. But Dr. King and other civil rights leaders didn't let that get to them. He and other leaders in the civil rights movement had the vision that us blacks would have more and more rights through applying pressure on the political system and protesting. They could have just sat back and did nothing, because in most situations their lives were in danger, but they executed instead. They all had a vision, and they executed that vision. No, they didn't get the results they wanted automatically. It was hard times for them. Some of those brave and courageous people even ended up in jail or dead. But in the end, the dream that all of our black leaders had turned into a reality. At first, I was a person who always dreamed, but now I know I can turn a dream into a reality. One thing about me is that I always loved fashion. I always wanted to model or create a clothing brand, but at first I thought I was too young to do it or I didn't have the resources to do it. Fast forwarding, me and my friends and I, or my business partners, Ronan Guilfoyle and Ethan Christou, put our minds and our money together and created our own brand, Sharp. How did we do it? We had a plan, and we executed that plan, just like the civil rights leaders did in the civil rights movement. Now we're making some good money from it, and we enjoy what we do. So from now on, I'm going to stop calling my aspirations dreams. Dreams are called dreams because they don't exist. We should turn those dreams into goals, and when we reach those goals, those dreams become our reality. Thank you.
Joshua, well done, man.
The 5th Annual Dream Big Award ceremony will return in a moment. We now return to the 5th Annual Dream Big Award ceremony. Here again, Jason Newton.
Our next visionary is Bella Grace Anibal. Bella Grace is a homeschooled student in the 6th grade and reading her essay, My Dream of International Diplomacy.
Hi, my name is Bella Grace Lucianne Anibal, and first and foremost, I would like to thank God for this wonderful opportunity, and I would like to thank my mom, my dad, my sister, my grandmother for supporting me and helping me with my essay.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. Bonsoir, mesdames et messieurs. My name is Bella Grace Lucianne Anibal, and the title of my essay is My Dream of International Diplomacy. My family has always taught me to dream big. I am Franco-American, and my dream is to be an ambassador for either France or the United States. Because I have dual citizenship and am fluent in both languages, I am truly blessed with the opportunity to possibly represent both countries. I have been to France and traveled throughout Europe 5 times with a French father, bonjour papa, and an American mother, hi mom. I have a unique understanding of both cultures. When I become an ambassador, I want to help improve international understanding between countries so I can help avoid wars and situations as in the Ukraine. God wanted his people to show concern for others. The Bible tells us to love our neighbors as we love ourselves. We all live on the same small planet. Maya Angelou said, "We are more alike than we are unalike. Liberty and freedom affect us all. And until all of us are free, none of us are free." Liberty, as ambassador, I will fight xenophobia to foster cultural understanding. I know becoming an ambassador will not be easy. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. reminds us, you can kill the dreamer, but you cannot kill the dream. I know the power of dreams, and that dreams only translate into positive change when people believe in themselves and know they can make a difference. Creating a world of equality and justice for all humankind is far from complete, but I am ready for the challenge until the day when my dream finally becomes reality. Novelist Gertrude Stein said, "L'Amérique est mon pays, mais Paris est mon chez moi." Translation, America is my country, Paris is my hometown. Likewise, America, which I love, is where I grew up, but Paris and being an ambassador is where and what I want to be. That's my dream. That is my destiny. Thank you and merci.
Bella Grace, thank you. Next up is Xin Yu Lu, a 10th grader at Delaney High School. She'll be sharing her essay, The American Dream.
Hello, my name is Xin Yu Lu. I'm grateful for my family, for their unwavering support. I'm thankful for their unconditional love.
Good evening, everyone. Imagine this. You travel thousands of miles by foot in the scorching heat, prance on numerous freight trains, journey across seas and deserts, and dodge the eyes of deportation officers just to arrive at the land of the free. America, a land of opportunities, a harbor for dreamers. Yet when you arrive at this promising and unfamiliar land, you are flooded with temporary excitement that is soon flushed with prevailing fear. Every door knock, every census survey, every visit to the doctor is confronted with the same fear implanted into undocumented immigrants from the day they cross the border. Fear did not become a shadow left in the past, but a constant voice perpetually creeping in their minds. Immigration stories did not cease at the infamous death of my mother's childhood neighbor, who had dreams of starting a new future in the nation of endless opportunities. But he was never found again. His body and those of many were lost, floating motionlessly at sea. While my parents suffer less than undocumented immigrants, their stories of immigration inspired me to ameliorate our immigration system while assisting others in the process. A career in immigration law would not only provide me the ability to ethically resolve immigration issues, it would provide immigrants access to a better future, as I would protect their ability to live, work, and remain in America. Being a representative for immigrants in jeopardy or those seeking a better future in regards to their immigration status, pursuing immigration law would enable a form of tribute to my family who went through the extensive citizenship process, while working to keep other families together. It is my dream to serve others as they strive to reach their own dreams in an environment where they do not feel vulnerable. Thank you.
The 5th Annual Dream Big Award ceremony will be right back.
Hello, my name is Corey McRae, Senator for the 45th Legislative District. I'm so excited to be here at the 5th Annual Dream Big Contest with our young scholars, just celebrating them, this unique opportunity to be able to lift them up and continue to bless them, because we know that they are brilliant in each and every way. Most importantly, I also want to thank the grandparents, the parents, aunts, and uncles. Just thank you to all of our sponsors, and look forward to continuing to lift up these young people.
Let's go on with our next visionary right now. It's Graham Turbeek. Graham is a 6th grade student at Dumbarton Middle School and is sharing his poem, I Too, Says the Sun.
Hi, I'm Graham, and I would like to thank my parents, my teachers, and my friends who continue to inspire my writing. And I would also like to thank everyone here at this event. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
I too, says the sun. Where do I go when I sink below the horizon, letting the darkness fill the sky? I rest. And did you know that I too dream at night? I dream that every person I watch over blossoms to its full potential, like the flowers I nourish. I dream that the world is full of warmth and light, and that like the seasons I bring, we continue to evolve and change. I dream about people coming together in harmony, like the birds that cry out as I emerge each day. I dream that we heal together. Each day I wake and rise, but it is not enough. I am not enough. Some bask in me. Some depend on me. You need me. But can't you see that I, too, need you? You allow me to illuminate the need for change, the injustice, the pain. But I dream that you use my light as a guide. Work together. Build together. You, too, can bring warmth. You, too, can bring light. You're always told not to look directly at me. Don't fly too close to me. Look away. But did you ever notice that danger never stops because we look away? That ignored wounds can't heal? From where I sit, high in the sky, I see you avert your eyes. I hear your silence. And even as day turns to night and my journey across the sky comes to its daily end, I persist. I continue to shine, biding my time until I can show myself again. You too can glow bright even in the darkest times. You too. But for now, all I can do is rise again, and promise to bring the hope, the gift of a new day. For now, I pray that you live in the light and serve as the light for others. For now, it will have to be enough. Thank you.
Beautiful poem, my friend. We now want to introduce our next visionary, our fifth visionary, that is Shamela Wakoro, who has a lot of fans, apparently. She is a 10th grader at Eastern Tech High School. She is reading her essay, Like Mother, Like Daughter.
Hi, my name is Shamela. I would like to thank my parents, my teachers, and the amazing faculty that has helped me at Eastern Technical High School. Like mother, like daughter. Most people obtain their parents' eye shape or hair color, but I've inherited much more, an innate passion for literacy and education. My mother, a nurse practitioner, taught me to defeat the limits of my imagination, to believe that I can and will make an impact in this big blue world. I watched her raise 3 children, enroll in a doctoral degree program, and maintain a full-time job with unrelenting admiration. She continues to remind me that in the midst of trials and hardship, there will always be light at the end of the tunnel. Similarly, I perceive education in the same exact way. For years, I've observed how several factors, including social class, gender, and financial differences, have separated students from one another. I myself have experienced educational inequity and can emphatically speak on its consequences. Namely, the varying levels of access to educational resources have led to significant disparities in the success and efficiency of our students. Many of our school systems fail to distribute learning resources in a fair, balanced, and equitable manner, which has influenced me to do something about it. In the foreseeable future, I hope to start a nonprofit dedicated to providing students with extra resources in and out of school. Study tips, advice, and coping mechanisms will be at their fingertips. I dream of eradicating the existing equity concerns that threaten the growth and social potential of our students across the state. I believe that by shifting the focus onto our students' individual needs, they can discover and cultivate their unique talents and interests. In due time, equity will be guaranteed for all students so that they may bask in the splendor of their accomplishments. Thank you.
Our last visionary tonight is Grayson Bess, who is in the 5th grade and attends the Calvert School. Grayson will be reading his essay, Representing.
Hi, my name is Grayson. I would like to thank my parents and everybody who helped me through this process, and I would like to thank the Lyric who put on the show.
Representing. Eleanor Roosevelt once said, "The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams." Before I leave the house each day, my mother always reminds me to represent myself, my family, and my community well. Through the many sacrifices of my parents, I have been blessed with a wonderful educational foundation. My dream is to build on that foundation and become a doctor. This means being prepared, doing well in school, serving others, and having mentors. I want to be a different type of statistic for Baltimore, one in which I'm a Black man who is a successful doctor who is informed, compassionate, and an engaged participant in my community. I'm inspired by one of my personal heroes, Congressman Elijah Cummings, a servant leader who loved Baltimore. I only got to meet him once at a church, but read about what kind of leader he was. I would like to become a servant leader for Baltimore. My dream for my community is that everyone has access to an education that inspires, challenges, prepares, nurtures, and supports their dreams. Through this, I believe people will become kinder to each other and give each other grace in this imperfect world. This will lead to a sense of hope for the future, and this hopefully will lead to reduced violence. My dream is for Baltimore to be recognized nationally for the accomplishments of its citizens, sports teams, and the elimination of gun violence. My dream for my family is for them to know and benefit from the fact that I have successfully represented myself, my family, and my community well. As Langston Hughes reminds us, hold fast to dreams, as I plan to hold fast to my dreams throughout my lifetime. Thank you.
You've met our 6 visionaries. They will be receiving $500 gift from Bank of America. They will also receive from Comcast a Chromebook and also swag from WBAL-TV, Bank of America, and Comcast as well.
Don't go away. The 5th annual Dream Big Award ceremony will return in a moment.
So, the moment all 12 of you have been waiting for. First, we're going to start with our dreamers. There is reason for you to join us on stage. Each dreamer this evening will receive a $250 gift from the Bank of America, also from Comcast. From Comcast tonight, you'll each receive a Chromebook and some wonderful swag from WBAL-TV, Bank of America, and Comcast as well. So first, from Baltimore City College, 11th grader, Beto Doof. Also a ninth grader from Baltimore City College, Asia Webster. Also from the 5th grade at Dallas F. Nichols Elementary School, Jemiah Anderson. Next is 6th grader from the Bel Air Edison School, Joy Anchera. 11th grader from Baltimore Design School, Carrie Snowden. And our final dreamer is 11th grader from Kenwood High School, Carmen Harvin. Ladies and gentlemen, these are our dreamers this evening. A round of applause for them all. Again, a hand for our winners tonight, our 5th annual Dream Big celebration. Thank you for joining us this evening.